This week I learned one less video per week equals a lot more reading time. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update as we are continuing to roll on through the month of February. Very, very busy reading week for me. It's been great. It's been just fantastic because, guys, what we're going to talk about. Let's begin like usual, guys, with what am I reading? And look, I've said in the past, I feel like Michael J. Sullivan is like the best like fantasy comfort read author out there right now. And that continues to be true because I did start The Legends of the First Empire. And not only did I think I told you guys last week that I had started this. Well, not only did I finish that, I finished book 2 as well this week, Age of Swords and Age of Myth. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do I feel about it? How am I feeling about the series? Because look, I love Raya Revelations, but I have said I was concerned because, well, there isn't going to be Royce and Hadrian in a prequel series. It's thousands of years later. And, Royce and Hadrian were my main draw to Rhaenyra. So how am I feeling about it? I feel like Age of Myth very much felt like a chapter 1 of a greater story. And I know now that Michael J. Sullivan likes to write the entire series first, and then kind of, release them piece by piece, listen to feedback, fix things along the way. That way he knows where he's going with it. It's very set beginning, middle, and end. So a lot of the stuff that I felt like was kind of like left open in book number 1, okay. I trust him to get me there. Book number 2 was a little more of a mixed bag. I felt like the characters that it established in book 1 that I liked the most really got a back seat in book 2. I felt like he really separated a lot of the characters that I liked that interacted with one another the way they did in book 1. And he separated them in book 2 and had like a major side quest, which is meaningful. By the end of the book, you tell that it is very much meaningful. But I didn't like him really separating the groups like he did for the majority of the book. I like these characters interacting with one another. But again, if this is part, I'm 2/6, 1/3 of the way through this series. I feel like he set up everything. And the way that the second book ends very much is like, okay, well, that's basically the setup. Now we're about to get into the meat of the story. And I literally finished that like just minutes before I started recording this, guys. So yeah, I blew through the second book in, a couple of days here because I said, I can fit one more book in before we start the next, we'll talk about when I get into what am I going to read, but next Blake Crouch book. And I'm here. I am. Got a couple days left. So what am I going to do in the meantime, guys? Well, guys, I did work on Malazan a little this week. I did get 3 more chapters in, which doesn't look like very much because it's just such a monstrous book. But we got a book we're starting on Monday, and then after that, I will not be starting anything else before we continue with the to Green Angel Tower Part 1 of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn at the beginning of March. So I'll be hitting this hard over the weekend probably, and then I'll be doing more of it after I finish the next book that I will talk about then. But guys, I did also start, yes guys, I have 4 books going right now. 4 books. Well, I finished the Michael J. Sullivan one, so 3 books now. I'm doing Beowulf. I'm continue to tell you that I've done that. I'm doing Beowulf very slowly, just like a few hundred lines per night, so Philip and I can talk about it. Probably won't happen until March. I don't know. We haven't actually coordinated when we're going to do that yet. I don't know if I need to put the pedal down a little more than I have. But I picked up one more, just reading at night, because I said, reading Beowulf at night, I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to read like that little bit, this is when I get my best reading in. So what am I going to do in the meantime? Am I just going to continue to work on it now? I'm not going to read on Malazan when I'm trying to go to bed, right? I'll forget everything. So I said, why not, guys? Let's go ahead and go back to Barsoom and talk about some John Carter. So I started to, I was just going to pick up right where I said I wanted to, which was Gods of Mars, which was book number 2. I said, you know what? It's been like 28 years since I read A Princess of Mars, so I started doing that too. Just, like a chapter before bed each night. It's been really great, and I have nothing but amazing things to say about Edgar Rice Burroughs. So much so that I think I want to do a Why You Should Read on him now, because I think this guy is just amazing. You think that this one that I'm reading right now, written in 1912, and it's so forward-thinking, you think it probably could have been wrote in the 60s, and you would believe it. And his writing style is just timeless. It doesn't feel dated at all. He uses a couple of $20 words, when you're reading like a pulpy sci-fi book, the kind of has like, wow, okay, that I didn't expect to see that word there. But that's just because the guy was a genius. He really was. And I think that his writing has just aged just so well. Because look, I love Robert E. Howard. I love Tolkien. I love Lovecraft. But you go back and read those, you could tell that they were written in a certain time period, by the way that people talked. This doesn't. This feels very much like I said, like it feels it feels more modern than Children of not Children. How do you keep calling it Children of Men? Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke. It kind of reminds me of something around that time period, or Mars Chronicles, or something by Ray Bradbury. So it really feels a lot more modern than it does. And you think about where we were as a people in 1912, and the stuff that he's talking about in these books is just absolutely amazing. Time traveler. He had to be a time traveler. But that's pretty much what I've got going on right now. Let's talk about what am I going to read. Now, obviously, I'm going to continue to work on Toll the Hounds, like I said. Beowulf. Going to be talking about with John Carter here. But on Monday, we are starting... Me and the Crouch Potatoes will be starting Abandoned by Blake Crouch. Now, it's a little thicker than some of his books are, but, if it reads as fast as the other ones, I think a week before we start the next Tad Williams book, it's plenty of time. I don't know. We will find out. But this is like one of those, like I had people ask me today on the Discord, like, is this a new book? No. The thing is like Blake Crouch didn't really blow up into the mainstream until Dark Matter got big, and then, of course, Recursion right after that. So I think he's, the kind of like a household name at this point. But the guy had an extensive backlog, so we're going to kind of be working backwards, and we do this. And then I think we've talked about going into the series of what's called Desert Plains, Run. I'm not really sure what it was called. Anyhow, it has a series too. But yeah, so plenty of Blake Crouch stuff. Like I said, keep going backwards. And then I'll actually probably go forwards because I did get that review copy of Upgrade, his upcoming book. So Blake Crouch is an author that I've loved so far. I feel like he is the replacing that hole that Michael Crichton's passing has left since 2008. So, yeah, the author I'm very, very excited about, and I'll see if he can continue this hot streak with me that he's had through the first 5 books I've read so far. And if you want to join us for that, guys, Monday, we are starting on Monday. Yeah, like I said, just going to keep on working on Toll the Hounds probably over the weekend. So this week on the channel, guys, first week of a lower schedule. Now, I know I said I was going to go down to 2 videos plus a weekly update. Well, this week I did put out 3 videos, but I did talk about the Book of Boba Fett Season 1 with Christopher Rocchio. Anytime I got a chance to talk to Darth Rocchio, I'm going to do that. And, we've been very much, we have an age gap, but we very much really are beholden to Boba Fett, the character, and the Star Wars original trilogy, obviously. So it was something that we wanted to talk about with the brakes off, and talk about the spoilers, talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and of course talk about everything that's coming, with Kenobi, with Ahsoka, with Andor, all this stuff that Disney Plus is going to be doing in the Star Wars universe. And I thought it was a very fun conversation, but I think Christopher and I, it's that type where we could probably sit down and talk for 10 hours and never run out of things to talk about. So it was hard actually just sticking to just talking about Star Wars. So awesome stuff. And his new book's coming out soon, guys. Pre-order. I also did my book haul for January, a fun little book haul because there's some things in there that I did not remember actually getting or when I talked about them on there. But you're out of shelf space, guys. You start stacking stuff on the floor and you kind of forget until it's time to get it all together and be like, oh man, I forgot that this got sent to me. So I always like to take that opportunity to thank people who are nice enough to send me stuff and, see some things that it's gathered some interest from other people because, like, for example, in that video I talk about getting those Cradle books. Someone sent me some the Cradle books by Will White. I think I had like the first 5 now. Well, someone saw that video and sent me the rest of them, so I now have all of these Cradle books and I haven't started it yet. So it gives people ideas, I think, but as well as lets them see some of these gorgeous collections and things like that. So I don't have to sell you guys on book hauls. It's always going to be one of my most popular videos each month, and I'm just thankful you guys continue to send me stuff for me to talk about. So regardless of if I have space or not, it's going to keep happening, I think. I think I might have to go back on my word about an unhaul soon. I don't know. We're going to have to make some kind of change in here because they're stacked and they're almost getting to the window now. So maybe I'll do a book tour and I'll show you guys how cluttered my office looks now. So I don't know how fun that would be. And then I did another Good and the Bad, which of course was for Pierce Brown's Red Rising, a series that I absolutely adore. I think it's got so many people have been like kind of fence sitting on that one. Like, I've heard this, but you always talk about it, so I don't really know how I feel. So I kind of put it on the table. Look, if you like this, or this, you're going to like the series. If you don't like this, or this, might not be for you. So that's kind of the point of The Good and the Bad, is for the fence sitters. Now, I try to make it a series that I love, or a series I talk about a lot. That's why I've done Wheel of Time. That's why I've done First Law, and now I've done Red Rising, because they're series I'm always going to talk about. And I will let the people know who still are just like, you talk about it a lot, but I just don't know if it's for me. I think the good and the bad videos kind of can help do that. And lots of interesting feedback on that one. I've had some people be like, I was like you. I didn't really like the first book, but man, the night and day difference after that. And I've had some people be like, I like the original trilogy. The sequels are a little too dark for me. These are all things that are up for conversation, I think, for sure. But it's a series that's very, very dear to me. And I can't wait to amp up more Red Rising coverage on the channel when we hopefully get a book 6 announcement from Pierce Brown, hopefully soon, because I would love to read the conclusion of that universe. I'm very excited about it. But I do got a couple of things for next week plans, guys. Now, I just said that I don't count if I have like a discussion or something like that as one of my videos, unless it's Talk About Nothing, because Talk About Nothings, guys, those do take some effort, because those are usually pretty lengthy videos. Well, I'm going to be talking about, or not about, but I've been talking to Jake Bishop. He actually joined me to talk about Dragonbone Chair with Madison and Scott recently. But this is, as I call him, Truthless of YouTube. It's just someone that I want to invite on the channel, because I think he can tell me what I'm missing, with the having not gotten back into Realm of the Eldlings yet. Because this guy was big time. Sanderson will never be beaten, and now he's kind of evolved into Robin Hobb is better than Brandon Sanderson. So we're going to talk about all those things, as well as a lot of other things, and probably a lot of nothing. That's what the show dictates, right? But I'm looking forward to picking his brain. I like talking to these people that got like an age gap here and kind of find out what we like differently, because I feel like he's a little more into traditional fantasy, where I'm a little more into the darker, grimdark fantasy and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about these things. I'm excited to do it and invite him on the channel finally, because I think he's a really awesome guy, and I will drop a link to his channel down below before we talk sometime next week. Review I'm going to do next week. I'll be doing the review for The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. That was an advanced reader copy that I got of that story, and I blew through it in like a week. It's really, really good, guys. I think you're going to like it quite a bit, and I'm going to tell you why. It does release on Tuesday, so my video probably for that will probably come out on Monday. Don't hold me to that, but obviously Tuesday at the latest. I like to do these, even though they lift the embargo, you can do it much earlier. I like to do it on release day or right before release day, because that's when the interest is the highest for it. So if you guys are on the fence, I'll go ahead and tell you, pre-order it. You're gonna be happy with it. But if you still need a sales job, I will go ahead and tell you what makes that book pretty kick-ass sometime next week. So if I do have time to fit a third one in there, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's really all I got this week for book stuff, guys. Yeah, it was a very, very busy reading week for me. Like I said, I found myself with all sorts of time, and it was great. It was really, really great, because the only Scouts thing we had got canceled due to weather. So yeah, just lots of time around the house reading the old yarn. It's been a good time. But let's talk about some TV and movie talk, guys. I didn't talk last week. They did put out the trailer for the final season of The Last Kingdom. In case you don't know, I said Last Kingdom, Vikings, and The Expanse were like my favorite shows on TV. Well, Expanse and Expanse and Vikings are both off now, and this is going to be Last Kingdom's final season. So I'm very, very excited to see it. And guys, if you haven't watched the series yet, if you're one of those people who still pouts, they ruined the last season of Game of Thrones, there are other really, really good fantasy shows out there. Now, this is more historical fiction, but again, I think that people that loved Game of Thrones when it was excellent will find plenty to like about Last Kingdom. And if I've had so many people, I try to just shut up and just stick with it, because trust me, it becomes absolutely amazing. That first season is kind of like, all right, well, I don't see what everybody likes so much about this, but oh my God, it just gets so good. And Uhtred, the son of Uhtred, is one of the coolest characters on TV, and I can't wait to go back and see him and Finan and the boys do their thing. So anytime you got Vikings in a dramatic setting, I'm usually probably going to be pretty interested, but I'm excited for that. Actually, it's the last season, and I think that they're going to do a movie to wrap everything up, because if you don't know, Bernard Cornwell's series is done, and this will be covering books 9 and 10, but it's a 13-book series. So I don't know if they're going to try to shove those last three books into a movie or what they're going to do there. But I was hoping they would do the whole thing. But still, doing 2 books per season, I think it's just been an awesome formula, and I wish other shows would do that. But we'll talk about that, other shows similar to that here in a minute. I do want to talk about this trailer for Jurassic World Dominion. I thought that Jurassic World was fun. It was the first time with a Jurassic Park movie where I felt like, hey, you know what? Sure, the writing's kind of something that like me and my kids probably could do, but it was fun. I had a good time with it. And then, I don't even remember what part 2 was called, Jurassic World 2. I don't even remember what it was called, but that just took it back to like Jurassic Park 3 levels of like, this is terrible. What am I even watching right now? And so with this one, I kind of had low expectations. It's dinosaurs. I'm always gonna go see it. I'm gonna take my kids to see it because it's dinosaurs. It's encoded in my DNA, guys. I'm gonna love to go see some dinosaurs. Now, watching this trailer, I'm like, look, this is not what Michael Crichton had in mind. It's very much reached the Fast and the Furious levels of like just absolute video game kind of stuff happening. However, nostalgia's big right now, guys. And you got Dr. Grant, you got Dr. Sattler, and you got Dr. Malcolm all back together in this movie with the new characters. And so, hey, yeah, they're going to get my money regardless because it's dinosaurs. Like I said, it's dinosaurs. It's all you need to sell me on is dinosaurs. But yeah, it's hard for me to look at that and say, yeah, this is exactly what Michael Crichton envisioned when he wrote the original. But hey, it is what it is. I'm excited to share it with my kids again. Had people ask me what I think about the Rings of Power trailer that they showed during the Super Bowl. Now, my problems with this really aren't really with what we got. It was the rollout to it. They put out this article in Variety, which very much, guys, had shades of The Last Jedi, where you could tell already they were attacking the fans. And look, guys, it's like this. I don't talk about castings and things like that because I learned with Wheel of Time, nothing good comes of it. Nothing good comes of it. Everybody's mad. Everybody's calling you names, and I stay away from that stuff now. I try to avoid that because I know it just creates a shitstorm anytime you get into castings and stuff. So I just ignore it now. Now with Wheel of Time, I was very easy. I let it go a lot. I let things slide, to the fact where people were like mad that me and Madison weren't being harder on it. However, guys, there are two universes that are dear to me. They are like a religion to me: Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. So, yeah, I'm not going to be easy on this. Now, we haven't seen anything other than this 90 seconds that we saw on this here. Whatever. It looks expensive. I honestly expected it to look more expensive for, being the first $1 billion show. But my advice to the creators, the showrunners here, if you think that you can attack the fandom like you're doing and still have a successful show, you have no idea what you're doing. No idea. This is probably the biggest nerd fandom that there is, outside of maybe Star Wars. And even that is comparable because it got a whole new legion of fans when the movies came out 20 years ago. You're not going to attack this fan base and win. It's not going to happen. You do not need to be picking a fight with Tolkien fans and saying that, like the OneRing.net has totally went heel, like telling people that, oh, this series is going to be for real fans and stuff like that. I don't know when this happened, but look, guys, this has been like the last fandom that hasn't been destroyed yet for me. And I feel like they're already trying to drive that wedge between the fandom. And I don't like that. That Variety article they put out was just very, very demeaning to Tolkien fans. And I don't like that at all. So the show could be great. Okay, look, there are things that bother some people. Don't necessarily bother me very much. What bothers me is that article is very much like, oh, well, Tolkien never did this, he never did that, and we got to make this more like the world today, and this doesn't happen like this, and Tolkien could have never, we got to write the story that Tolkien never could have written. Why? This is probably the most established mythos of all time. There's plenty for you to do here and honor Tolkien. That's what Peter Jackson did right. He said, we're going to honor Tolkien. We're going to make this as if we were making it for J.R.R. Tolkien. And that's why that series has become beloved. So attacking the fandom, guys, bad look. Bad look. I don't even have anything to say about the trailer. It was 90 seconds, no context going on. Who knows what's going to happen? We get a full release trailer, then I'll maybe break it down or something like that. But this teaser trailer, it's too short to really know anything. I don't really care for what they're doing with Elrond, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, I feel like it's too soon to judge the final product off this trailer. I just don't like the way that the people in charge of it are already, throwing labels at Tolkien fans. That's not going to end well for you. So, might want to consider that. I hope they are listening to the feedback because it's been nasty. It has been nasty already, and I think they realized, we picked a fight with the wrong group. But again, I don't know. Maybe they don't. I mean, it doesn't seem like Lucasfilm has ever figured that out. But we'll see. We'll see. As for movies, guys, I did show. My 9-year-old is on kind of like a little mini horror kick now, and I could not be more happy about this. I'm very, very excited. So I've been letting him pick some movies. I picked some movies. I'm like, okay, look, I've been letting him watch some R-rated movies and things like that. So I was like, what can we do next? And he picked John Carpenter's The Thing, my favorite horror movie of all time. So I was very anxious to watch this with him. And man, that movie, guys, has aged like a fine wine. And again, I said this with Terminator. I think that the Blu-ray transfer is just stunning. It looks like it came out yesterday. It is so crisp and clean and beautiful. And I think the practical effects in that movie is what has made it become like the classic that it is, because it still looks disgustingly creepy, but very real. I think it even, like I said, I was worried about that the high transfer would make the special effects look worse, but I think they actually look better. So yeah, what an amazing movie. My kid was like obsessed with the ending, like trying to find out who was the thing in the last scene of the movie. So much so that he was making me like rewind it and play parts again. So yeah, his mind is working at a higher level. I mean, he was bringing up stuff about, this is a movie that I have debated about for 20, 30 years now. And my 9-year-old brought up stuff that I hadn't even thought of yet. So just a very thought-provoking movie that people wouldn't expect to be a thought-provoking movie. But just the ultimate tale of paranoia and just suspense. It's so good, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, please check it out. It's more than just a cult classic. It's amazing to think that this movie bombed at the box office. But you know what? There's no accounting for taste, is there? So great movie, and it's aged wonderful. And my 9-year-old did enjoy it quite a bit. And that is just awesome to me. A couple of gaming talk things before I go, guys. I did get the notification right before I started recording this that Horizon Forbidden West, my copy, will be arriving tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that after I punch out of work and come home and, upload the game to your system or whatever. Why buy physical media if they still make you download it to your system? I don't even understand this stuff. Anyways, it's going to sound like people can be like, okay, boomer, or something. But hey, I still buy physical on games because if it's the same price for physical as it is for digital, I'm going to pay for it. You know what? Why? Why would I pay the same price for digital when I can actually have the physical media in my hand? So that's something maybe I haven't let go of. I let go of it with music. And I've started picking up digital books and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not ready to do it with games yet. I feel like I said, maybe if it was $10 cheaper for digital, sure. But you know what? This way I always say with these games is, hey, that way if I don't like it, you know what? Then I can gift it to somebody else or something like that. So that's why I still buy physical games. But I'm excited to play the game. The reviews have been kind of pretty positive. I mean, most Sony first-party titles usually get pretty good reviews. I think that they make sure usually that those are, pretty solid. I can't think of the last first-party game that I got that wasn't, at least pretty good. I'm playing on PS4. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they don't look, guys. They don't let you buy PS5s, You can't go buy them. So I'm going to be playing on PS4, and I'm fine with that. I played the hell out of the original. Played it through twice. I think I probably sunk 100 hours into that game. I love the first one. I think it was in the conversation for Game of the Generation of the last generation. So I'm very excited, obviously, to see what Aloy and them crazy dinos are up to again. Starting tomorrow sometime. So I know I won't be the only one. And as far as Game Pass, my Game Pass update, I've been playing this game called Death's Door. It was sold to me like it's kind of like a throwback to like Zelda. But it is that kind of type. You get a new ability, and then you can unlock new areas and things like that. But man, that game is challenging. It's very, very challenging, and it's challenging because it's like you have a reach that's like a quarter of an inch, and you've got to fight like a castle or a flying castle and stuff, and you can only get hit like 4 times. And I'm sure you can get power upgrades and things like that later, but where you're at in the beginning, it's like, man, I'm not even 20 minutes in this game, and I'm fighting a boss that's like something at the end of a Super Nintendo game, and it's it'll make you practice quite a bit. It might have made me think about throwing the controller once or twice. Back in the day of the 8-bit Nintendo, you could throw that controller and it was fine. Now you're like, because the controllers cost like $70. You don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, it'll get the blood pressure going a little bit. But a really, really fun game. And when you're not overly aggravated. But like I said, all these things in these games like this, they have a pattern. You just gotta learn them, right? But yeah, lots of practice makes perfect. So that's my week, guys. What has your week been like? Why don't you drop in the comments and let me know what you are reading, what you're listening, what you're playing, what you're watching, all these things and more, guys, and have yourselves an awesome weekend.